So, Killer Instinct has been, I guess, competing with Mortal Kombat in a friendly game of, haha, well, guess what characters we got? So, recently, as we all know, in Mortal Kombat we're getting both Leatherface and what I like to call the Barakamorph, which is basically a Tarkatan Xenomorph. And those are really cool. But recently, Killer Instinct, another one of my favorite fighting games as well, has stepped up to the plate with guest characters, starting off with, of all characters, Rash from Battletoads, their first guest character, and recently, the Arbiter from Halo. Yeah, did you guys ever think a Halo character would be like a guest character in any game? I didn't. Like, when I heard the news the Arbiter was going to be in Killer Instinct, I was literally like, is this made up? What the fuck? I had to look that up. So, yeah. Now, the other thing, now you're probably, as you can guess from the list, tongue-tied there, yeah, these are my top 10 guest characters I would like to see in Killer Instinct. Now, I'm fully aware that this list is going to be total BS. I'm fully aware of that, and I've done the list before, but hey, my number one guest character for Mortal Kombat, the Predator, got in, so who knows? Maybe one of these will get in by a long shot. Now, why am I doing 5? And also why I'm kind of doing this a little more janky than others, kind of because I've got my lazy pants on, so yeah, I'm kind of lazing out here. But hey, we're just here to talk about a discussion. So that's the thing, is that this is just, with all my lists, this is just my personal opinion. If you think a character should be higher or lower or not on the list at all, that's totally fine. No ill will against you. This was just meant to be fun, and as always, I'm always excited to see what characters you'd like to see in a game. So yeah, that's kind of really it. It's just more about me just shooting the shit and seeing what you guys have to say. This is, again, I'm not saying that these are the characters that should be in the game. Brah. Not saying that. Just be like, hey, I just like to see these characters. It'd be cool if they were in there, but I know they probably won't be. And what characters would you like to see? Also, another thing is that since it looks like it'll be only video game characters, since we've only had Rash and Arbiter, who knows, maybe Azula from Avatar will show up in the next Killer Instinct season. But yeah, I'm just going to stick with video game characters. And you're probably thinking, well, if that's the case, why do we have Darth Malgus here at number 5? I'll explain in a moment. But yeah, that's kind of the list. So those are that's kind of it. So without further ado, let's get into it with, of course, number 5, Darth Malgus. Now, why did I pick Darth Malgus? He's a Star Wars character. Well, he's also a video game character. He was obviously one of the major characters in Knights of the Old Republic. Now, I would have gone with, you're probably thinking, why didn't you go with Revan or Malak? And that'd been probably the easy choice, and plus, Malgus is one of my favorite Sith Lords, so yeah. Now, the reason why I kind of have him on this list, and why he's a little lower, even though he's one of my favorite Sith Lords, the reason being is because I sincerely doubt we'll ever see Malgus, but I think he would make such a cool character. He's huge, he's imposing, he was one of the most powerful Sith Lords, and you can only imagine what kind of moves it would be, because Malgus, if you've seen him in the video game as well as the trailers, this dude is a brutal fighter. So I could see like a teaser of him just walk, because there was a deleted trailer scene, and I don't think this was used in Knights of the Fallen Empire, where we see Malgus encased in carbonite. So I think it would be cool, like, you see it cut the trailer that introduced a new character for Killer Instinct, and then it cuts away and it shows the carbonite slab Malgus is trapped in. You see it like start to break apart, and then boom, Malgus's fist goes through the carbonite, and you just hear him go, "I live," or something like that. Or it goes dark again, and then you just see Malgus ignite his light, like Malgus's hand and holding the lightsaber, and he just ignites it. So something like that, maybe. But yeah, Malgus would be a really cool character. Very unlikely. I just think he would be a lot of fun. Just using all the Sith lightning. He was one of the most powerful Force users. Master of Juyo. It's a very aggressive lightsaber style. And yeah, I think it would be really cool. And plus, Malgus versus the Arbiter, a plasma sword versus lightsaber. Tell me you guys have not like I'm not the only one who has thought about what would it be like if a plasma sword went up against a lightsaber. I mean, yeah, I know the lightsaber can keep going and going and going. And the plasma sword only has so much life in it with so many strikes. But yeah, I think that would be kind of cool. Probably won't happen, but yeah. But with the reason why he's kind of on this list at all is mostly because, yeah, I kind of cheated. He's a Star Wars character. He's also a video game character, and plus, with Star Wars being as big as it is now, because now there's been a resurgence, and there's a huge market for Knights of the Old Republic. Like, if you bring up Knights of the Old Republic around Star Wars fans, someone's going to flip their shit in a good way. Or bad, if you want, depending on which game you want to bring up and how the stories went. But yeah, again, I could have gone with Malik or Revan or Mar or one of the other characters. I just wanted to go with Malgus. He was a very memorable character, at least to me. So, yeah, Darth Malgus at number 5 for guest characters on Killer Instinct. So anyway, moving on. So, at number 4, we have Dimitri Maximov from Night Stalkers. Now, yeah, we've had werewolves, we've had, other types of monsters in here. If I remember right, we haven't really had a Killer Instinct vampire. At least, I can't remember. There's so many characters, and they've only introduced so many. So I think, and Capcom's been known to lend out their characters to other companies. So, yeah, obviously we have Akuma, who's going to be in Tekken 7, and he's going to play a huge part. I think it'd be really cool to bring in, I could have gone... initially, I was going to pick John Talbane, my favorite character in Night Stalkers, but I decided to go with Dimitri because, one, he's kind of overlooked, and two, they already have Saberwolf. They already have Saberwolf. It'd be kind of counterintuitive to have two werewolves in the same game, and people would just complain like, oh, it's just a copy of Saberwolf, or no, Saberwolf's a copy of John Talbane. I didn't want to get into that kind of arguments. And besides, I think Dimitri's also another character that people kind of overlook when you come to Darkstalker characters. Tongue-tied. But yeah, when you come to Darkstalker characters, people usually say B.B. Hood, or John Talbane, or, of course, Morrigan, characters like those. Not a lot of people talk about Dimitri, honestly. So I think it'd be cool. And plus, Dimitri's pretty frickin' powerful. He is a pretty freaking powerful character. And I think it would be cool to have that kind of, those kind of vampiric powers. Yes, I know he's not really a real vampire. He's like if I remember right, he's like an incubus. But he's like but then if I remember right, they changed in one of the games where he's like a hybrid of vampire and incubus, or something of that matter. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I played Darkstalkers. But I think it would be a cool character. Now, obviously, Capcom could give two shits about him, they haven't given two shits about Darkstalkers in general, but maybe they can throw him a bone and use this character. Yeah, because again, he's a very big combo character. You just imagine using all the bats, the super strength, all of that at his possession, and plus him going head to head with the likes of Arya or oh god, what's the stone creature's name? Why am I forgetting these names? But yeah, like the character I'd like to see him throw down with is Kan-Ra, the mummy. Like those two, you could honestly see Kan-Ra in Night Stalkers, honestly, along with Saberwolf as well, and also with Spinal. That's the thing. Dimitri could easily fit in with these characters, because the thing about Killer Instinct that I've noticed more than other games is that, with certain, even with Mortal Kombat and several other characters, they all have their own little, they maybe come from different worlds, but they all have, you can all kind of see how this world's put together. You can basically see how this world's put together and where these characters come from. But with Killer Instinct, they're like, nah, we got a genetically engineered raptor, we got a cyborg werewolf, we got a resurrected skeleton, we got a mummy, we got all that shit, and some normal characters thrown in there for good measure. But look out, one of the, the bitch in the green turns into a tiger. A leopard. It's a big cat, whatever. But yeah, that's kind of what I love, is that it can be, Killer Instinct has just a bunch of characters thrown together, and that's the universe. Anyway. So yeah, I think Dimitri would be cool. Again, it's kind of like the same, unfortunately, with Malgus, because I don't think we'll ever see him, and it's mostly because Capcom hasn't really cared about Darkstalkers as of late. But yeah, I think he would be cool. I mean, then again, you gotta look at when they brought in Rash. Did anyone think a Battletoads character would come back to be a guest character in any game, let alone a game in general? So, maybe there is hope for Dimitri. So moving right along to number 3, we have Kratos. Yeah, Kratos. But you're probably wondering, well, Kratos has already been in multiple games. He's been in Mortal Kombat and Soul Calibur. True, but I think, and obviously there are still fans of God of War. I mean, we've had, there's still fans clamoring for more God of War, and he's been a guest character, like I said, in both Mortal Kombat and I think 2 Soul Calibur. No, it was just 1 Soul Calibur game, but I want to say 2. I feel like he's been in more than 1. But anyway, with Kratos, Kratos just feels like he could fit in that world. There is a lot of Greek mythology mixed in with Killer Instinct, so I think it would be cool. Like maybe his story can be that he's time traveled to the future to battle the dark forces or something like that. I don't know. Kratos is a pretty brutal character, and Killer Instinct is a pretty brutal game. I mean, yeah, you could have him with his blades, the fists, all of that. You can have that all at his disposal, and yeah, I just only imagine the combos you could do with Kratos, just up close, long range, all of that at Kratos' disposal. And again, I know the God of War games have been pretty much said and done for a while, but I still think there's still a market. There's still fans of God of War out there, and he just kind of when you look at Kratos and then you look at some of the other like Agamotto, the giant, I think that's how you pronounce the name. God, I love the game so much, but I can barely remember anything about it. It's been a while since I played Killer Instinct, as you can tell. But yeah, that's the thing. Like with Kratos, you look at him and then you look at some of the characters in the Killer Instinct series, and you're like, yeah, I can see it. So yeah, who knows? Maybe Kratos could be another character, and plus, Kratos versus Arbiter. I mean, that'd be kind of one-sided, but it's a video game, really. So you could make it like the Arbiter wins. But yeah, I think obviously with the God of War games mostly done, who knows? Maybe we'll get God of War 4 somewhere down the road. But honestly, I think like you could still have Kratos around a few more times over and over again, mostly. But yeah, so that's my number 3. So at number 2 on the list is Marcus Fenix from Gears of War. Now he seems a little more likely because, if I recall right, yeah, Gears of War is under the same group that, it's under the same umbrella group as Killer Instinct, so there's a big possibility. And plus I'm a big Gears of War fan, so I was kind of like, yeah, if I was going to have another, like a brutal character, then yeah, Marcus Fenix. And plus, you gotta give a lot of love to some Gears of War. But with Marcus Fenix, just a combination of weapons you could use. Like for long range, you could have the rifle, you could have the pistol. For close range, you could just take a chainsaw to a guy's face. You can even throw those spike grenades. There's just so many ways you could play that character. Like when the character's down, you could just stomp on their head a couple times and then or kick them or something. I just imagine Marcus as this brutal, mostly long range. That would probably be his shtick, is that he's mostly used for long range combat. He's a distance fighter, but if you can get in close, he can deal in some damage as well. But the big thing is, the problem is that, the drawback to Marcus Fenix is that he has a gun. And you could argue, well, the Arbiter has guns. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure instead of, they're probably going to use the guns and the plasma grenades for, they're probably going to use the grenades, there's the word, and the other weapons in the Arbiter's arsenal in long range, and the sword's probably going to be the up-close weapon. But with Marcus, he doesn't really have a sword or any type. He just kind of has the chainsaw gun, and you could say that, yeah, maybe he can just use the chainsaw the chainsaw on the rifle up close and personal. So maybe that can be. Actually, now that I think about it, that could actually work. Is like when you go in close for close combat, just have the chainsaw do these little hits here and there, something like that, maybe. But yeah, I think that would. I think it would be cool to have Marcus. I don't really talk a lot about Gears of War, so I figured, if I wanted a game called Killer Instincts, and what guest character would it be? Marcus would probably be on the list. So here he is now. And my number 1 for guest characters in Killer Instinct is Kai Lang from Mass Effect. Why Kai Lang, you're probably wondering, when I could have chosen Thane, or Garrus, or Grunt, or Rex, or Samara, or Liara. So many characters, guys. Why did I pick Kai Lang? Well, the fact of the matter is that I wanted to go with someone a little more out of thought. And I really did give a lot of thought about, I gave thought to, Grunt and all of them. But the reason why I picked Kai Lang is because it's kind of like he wasn't a character you could play as, and I think it would be a cool experience to play as this assassin that did kill one of the most beloved characters in Mass Effect. But I think it would be cool just to play as a character you never were able to play as, and plus all the weaponry that Kai Lang had at his disposal is just amazing. You know, pulse grenades, that sword, those biotic abilities, all of that, and yeah, and also when you look at him, he kind of does look like a character you would honest to God see in Killer Instinct. I'm not the only one who probably thinks that. You look at Kai Lang and be like, oh, yeah, I could see that, honestly. Yeah, so, with that being said, yeah, Kai Lang is a total left fielder, but I decided to go, I decided to pick a character, and honestly, like, honorable mentions, 90% of Mass Effect characters would be awesome to see in a Killer Instinct game, or as a guest character in any game, because God knows, you know, Mass Effect, even though it had some problems with the ending of the game series, but apparently it is coming back. I keep hearing things back and forth, so if anyone else is a little more game savvy, then please let me know in the comments below. So I think that, you know, Kai Lang would be an interesting pick, and it would just be bloody. He would just be this bloody, devastatingly quick and efficient character that you could just go out and wreck shit with. Imagine him versus Arya from Killer Instinct, or Riptor, or, you know, several other, you know, there's so many characters I would love to see him go head-to-head with in the Killer Instinct universe, so that would, you know, this would be just a fun, balls-out, bloody kind of game, you know, this would just be a fun, balls-out, bloody kind of game character. So really, I would like to see Kai Lang would be awesome, but again, I think it would be cool with, you know, if you know, instead of Kai Lang for Mass Effect, if they decide to go with a Mass Effect character, I would be okay with any of them, honestly. I would be okay with, Mordin wouldn't be a lot of fun. I don't think, because Mordin was more of a healer than he was a fighter, so, and not to say I hate Mordin, I don't, I actually really like him, I just don't think he would make a good Killer Instinct guest character, but characters like Grunt, or Rex, or, you know, Jax, oh god, Jax would be awesome, Jax would be cool, Samara and Liara, so many characters, guys, so many characters that I could easily pick from throughout all of Mass Effect, so, yeah. But Kai Lang I chose because I think it would be cool to see, seeing more of, like, the organization of evil that is, the evil tongue-tied, again, oh my god. But yeah, I think he would just be a lot of fun to play as, you know, playing as this horrible assassin that'd be like, I want to be, because I can't be the only one who thought, when fighting Kai Lang, when fighting Kai Lang, you couldn't help but think, what would it be like if I could play as this guy, or have him on my team? I wonder what that would be like. Yeah, so I think that would be a cool experience in and of itself. So, yeah. So that is pretty much my top 5 guest characters I would like to see in why do I keep wanting to say Mortal Kombat? Killer Instinct. So just comment below, let me know what are the top 5 guest characters. Yeah, tongue-tied again. Oh my god. But yeah, what are the top 10 guest characters you would love to see in Killer Instinct? There's the word. So yeah, that's what I would like. Just to let you guys know, this was just my list, just my personal opinion. If you think a character on here should have been higher or lower, or not at all on the list, that's totally fine. No ill will against you. This is just my personal opinion. So, and I just really want to, get a conversation going. And I'm fully aware that probably none of these characters, if they decide to bring in another guest character after the Arbiter, they could easily say, okay, we're just going to have Rash and the Arbiter as the guest characters if we decide to do this again. But I just thought it would be, I just kind of did this for shits and giggles. So, yeah, let's all have a hypothetical, what would it be like if we could bring in another video game character for, the Killer Instinct series. So once again, really interested to hear what you guys have to say about all this, and I hope you all enjoyed this video on a whole, and I will see you guys later.